$1,000 every year. So every year for 6 years, and the first thing you pay is the interest. So on 22% interest in a vehicle, in a brand new car that costs you $16,000, you're gonna pay about $40,000 back, because the principal, which is $16,000, you're probably only gonna pay about $3,000 the first year, even though you're gonna pay about $7,000 or $8,000. The principal is only gonna go down about $3,000. So the next year you're gonna pay another 22% on $14,000 or $13,000, and you're gonna pay the interest first. So at the end of about 6 years, you're going to pay about $40,000 in 6 years for a car, a shitty new car. Now, that's one criminal element right there. Excessive fees, unconstitutional. But Constitution doesn't exist in California. It's illegal. It's like a fantasy book. It's like a picture of the Last Supper. It's not real. So let's say you do good for about 4 fucking years and you paid about $20,000 to $30,000, right? And you're like, damn, I paid $20,000, $30,000 on my car. Now it's 4 years old. It needs a lot of repairs. Now I'm paying out of pocket for repairs because there's no warranty and whatever. It's getting harder to pay the payments, right? So here's where the corruption happens. Well, it already started when you signed the contract. So you can't fucking pay for the car anymore, because 4 years in, you paid 4 years of the fucking car. You have 2 more years of payment. The car's already fucking breaking down. You've used the shit out of your car. You missed 2 payments. Alright, you defer a payment. You miss another 2. You miss 3 payments. You're out of a job. You haven't paid for 2 months. You couldn't pay for 2 months? Guess what? You go outside and you're ready to go to work because you're working your ass off. You're not making enough money because you have a full-time minimum wage job. You go outside and there's no car there. Where's your car? Did it get stolen? You call the cops. You say, hey, I think my car got stolen. It's like, no, your car got repossessed. Who repossessed the car? The police repossessed your car. The police. The police repossessed your car, brother. They called the towing company. Actually, something happened where the person that did the loan for 6 years, they said, this dude didn't pay his car for 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, he paid for 4 years straight, and we made $22,000 off of his ass, but he missed 2 months. So joink, we just snatched his car and we stole it from him, which is legal, but it's still theft. Even though it's legal theft, it's still theft. It's still corruption. It's still wrong. Still immorally unethical. Whatever way you want to say it, it's fucking thievery. And the person who signed the contract was tricked into those agreements because your back is against the wall. You have a full-time minimum wage job, and they say, all right, we're gonna give you 6 years of financing. All you gotta pay is about $400 or $500 a month. And the person's like, yeah, that's good. But then you don't realize you're paying $160 a month for insurance that you have to pay because the law says you have to pay insurance, and insurance is more expensive on newer cars. All this shit is that there's taxes on all this shit too. Registration is a tax. The money you pay every month is taxed. The insurance that you pay is taxed. Everything is fucking taxed. So there's a corruption just in buying a new car. So they won't even give you a car. They'll give anybody a car in LA. If you have a job for like a year or 2 years, you could get a brand new car. They'll gladly give you a fucking car. They'll be like, "Oh, you got a repossession? You got a repossession in your history? Oh man, that sucks." What they say is, "Oh, that sucks. You just have to pay more interest next time. Because the first time you paid 22% interest, now you have to pay 35% interest on this car. But we'll give it to you. Instead of paying $400 a month, now you have to pay $600 a month, brother." So you, like an idiot, say, "All right, then I'll sign everything I gotta sign." And at the end, they take your car. The police take your car. They call a tow truck company that is corrupt, that steal cars. They legally, tow truck companies steal cars like nothing, just for parking in a certain way, parking in a certain area, whatever. They'll steal your car and then they'll charge you an excessive fee, which is illegal, again, under the Constitution of excessive fees and fines. But the Constitution don't exist. It's just a fairy tale right there. It's not real life. Constitution is like a pipe dream. So if you're in LA, you gotta know how to live in LA. Because I see a lot of people coming from other states and other countries. They buy a car here. They say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to LA with $5,000-$10,000. If you talk to an LA person and you say, "Hey, here's $10,000, the person from LA would look at the $10,000 as if it's like $100. They probably won't even say thank you for the 10,000, because you have to make way more than that. You have to make about 50 to 60,000 a year to live in LA. Most people in LA have their own business. They have a side hustle. They have a full-time job. They have a full-time job that's supporting their business and a side hustle, and they're getting educated at the same time. They're working like fucking dogs. We're working like dogs here. And if you get burned out and you can't fucking do it anymore, the thing you do is, as soon as you get $500-$600 or $1,000 saved up and you're getting burned out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the store. You're gonna buy a fucking tent. You're gonna buy a sleeping bag. You're gonna buy some food supplies, some soap, whatever the hell you need, a basket, a cart to drive in. And you're gonna fucking live on the beach as a homeless person, selling your art or whatever. That's your hope. That's your retirement. That's your retirement in LA, is becoming a homeless beach bum. That is the retirement of a person that works in LA. Now you can leave LA. You could go to Texas, or you could go to Arizona or New Mexico. You can start a business there, make money. But LA is fucking great. LA is great. It's diverse. It has a lot of shit. It's lively. There's this thing called lively, which lively means there's commotion, there's people walking outside, there's people buying things, there's people in crowds, there's lines, there's like a lot of traffic, a lot of people gathered together is lively. You go to Texas and you go to the street, it's dead. We call it dead. There's no one there. It's a ghost town, right? No one on the streets. It's a ghost town. Now, I've been to Texas, and Texas is fucking beautifully clean. Texas is very fucking clean. I looked at Texas and I was like, whoa, shit. Things are clean here. Like the freeways are clean. Like the freeways are clean. There's no fucking potholes. There's no on the road. There's no the cement is all well done. It's very nicely clean and shit like that. The buildings are clean. But guess what? There's no one everywhere. There's no one there. There's no one doing nothing. There's no one on the street. There's no liveliness. So, like, where's the people at? It's like a clean ghost town. We can't have that shit. People from LA, we need to be with other people. We need to be surrounded by people, even though we don't talk to those people. There's this thing that I say. In LA, you could be alone in a crowd. Let that sink in. In LA, you can be alone in a crowd. That is the mentality of people that live in LA. Now, are people from LA friendly? It fucking depends, brother. It's so diverse. You can't really say they are and they're not. Some of them are. A lot of them are. And then there's a lot of them that are fucking weird and just wrong. Like there's a lot of broken family people in LA. A lot of men that grew up that didn't have a fucking father, hate the world, and they become cops, or they become tow truck drivers, or they work for the DMV, or they work for the government somewhere that fucking oppresses the working class. People that grew up without a father, that were bullied or something, they end up applying for the jobs of officers, security, of things with law, things with enforcement of the law, right? So you can't say that everybody in LA is good. We have a good chunk of douchebags here in LA that grew up without fathers, and some of them are cops. Some of them are people that drive tow trucks and repossess cars and all this other corrupt shit that brings humanity down, right? We're all trying to vibe in LA. We're all trying to work and get our hustle on, and then there's this fucking stupid guy that was either touched by his uncle or something like that, and he became a fucking police officer, or he became a fucking tow truck driver, and he sees a reason for you to get some money out of you, and he's an enemy to humanity. He's an enemy to humanity, but this is going to be another topic in one of my other videos. But an enemy to humanity is someone that fucking hates humans. Humans, and wants humans to suffer. Even though they are human, they are enemies to humanity. They bring us down. But LA people from LA, people that know the culture, people that know how to live here, we're very resilient. Very fucking resilient, dude. I talked to some guy that owned 2 houses. He lost both houses to the IRS or whatever. He said that was one of the lowest parts of his life, from going to owning 2 houses to losing both houses and going homeless and having to start all over again. Well, guess what? He fucking made it, and now he's living in another house and he's starting all over. So LA people are very resilient. We could make $1 million. I'm pretty sure I already made about $500,000 in LA. I had to have made, see, I've had to have made $500,000 in LA already in my lifetime. And there's so much money to be made here. A lot. From tourism and everything. And it's just one of the most greatest fucking counties in the world. You can go to the beach. You can go to the mountains. You can go I met some dude that was from fucking, I don't know where the hell he was from, Manhattan or something like that. He was from a rich area in New York. He was a spoiled rich Ivy League dude. He lived in Venice Beach and he owned a house there. And he says, yeah, my parents bought me this house in Venice Beach. I said, what? I said, I've been in LA my whole life. I would love to live in the beach, but no way I could afford it. But I've been to Venice Beach. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to college. I do this. I do whatever. He's a rich white Ivy League kid. He's going to school in LA for law or something, or medical. Probably medical, because USC is a medical college in LA. So he's going to college here, and he's telling me about the homeless people, how like, yeah, my parents are paying a lot of money to have me live by the beach, but outside my doorstep there's homeless people and all that shit. I said, well, that's what it is, man. You don't own the street. You barely own the house in LA. So buy the street. Buy the street, and then you can kick those homeless out. But no, they won't buy the street. So they're entitled, right? Here's the deal. I said, dude, what do you think about LA? I mean, you're right by the beach. You could go surfing whenever you want. He said, LA? He said, LA is something else, brother. He's like, you can fucking do 3 things in LA that you can't do in other countries. That you can't do in other states. Number 1, go surfing in the morning. That same day, go snowboarding in the evening, and then go dune bugging